Hey everyone, this video is for you if you are thinking about moving to Scotts Valley and are starting to trying to figure out what area would work best for you and your family. I know that is very hard to do, which is why I made a bunch of videos on different areas of Scotts Valley. This video in particular is episode 7 of a 7 video series covering a lot of the southern area in Scotts Valley. I call it the Lockwood, Lane, and Whispering Pines series. And, in this whole series, I've covered from different single family homes to different townhome complexes. And today I'm going to be going over these single family homes in a PUD or a planned unit development called the Rolling Green area. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the whole general area of what I just talked about, make sure to go back to episode 1. I got you covered there. And if you've watched all of them, then you kind of probably already know where we're at. But I hope this video is super helpful for you and looking forward to it. I'm Jose Salas with the Living in Scotts Valley channel. I'm also a local realtor and I also live here in Scotts Valley. If this is your first time coming to any of these videos, what they have to do about is really everything you need to know about what it's like to live here in Scotts Valley, and just general and specific information about just random things about this area. And my hopes are that if you are considering moving to the area from out of the area or even a different part of Scotts Valley or even Santa Cruz, whatever, my hopes are that you'll be able to learn a little bit more about the area before plunging and making the decision on what area you want to move to, and that for some reason the information that I put out there will make you live a lot happier and save a little bit of time on doing the research and driving and stuff yourself. So anyways, I've been here for about 4 years now myself, moving on to 5 years. And, my approach is I came from out of the area and moved here. My wife kind of grew up here since middle school and has been here ever since. And I think that perspective might help people a little bit more, especially if you're thinking about, moving from out of the area. I personally came from San Jose, lived there, as well as the Central Valley. So, through my experience, I've learned a lot of things from, shifting to the area. And I hope these videos help. And if they do, I'd appreciate a like on this video in particular, as well as if there's anything that I can touch on that you do want to know more about, or even feedback on the video, I'd appreciate if you throw it in the comments so that way I can make these videos more helpful. Because right now, really the only way I'm making these videos is basically, through my clients that I help in real estate, to like when I go to an open house and I meet people who are thinking of moving to the area, I just kind of draw from questions from them, being able to help them, and I just make it into a video. So also on a last note, if you really do like these videos and they are super helpful, I try my best to be consistent about them, but the reality is I'm just in the heat of the season right now of work, and I'm working a lot right now, and I'm gonna keep making these videos, but if you want to keep watching them, you're probably going to want to subscribe to them. Ideally I'd like to do one a week, and that's what YouTube algorithms and stuff like that say to do, but fortunately I'm doing my best here, and I'm just doing my best to keep information out there for you guys so you can learn more. So if you subscribe and I make a video every 1 week to 3 weeks, you'll get notified when the next one comes out. And if you are also thinking about moving to the area and you need a little bit more catered help and like one-on-one, feel free to give me a call. It's what I do for a living. My contact information is in the description, or you can just comment and we'll set up a time to chat. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoy the video. Jump into the MLS tour right now. This is going to give you a brief overview of the area as well as what the homes in this area look like. So here we go. just a quick review on where it's at. This is Lockwood Lane. This is Mount Herman. There's some of the biggest streets in Scotts Valley. Mount Herman is a little bit more of a major roadway. 17's right here. This is Scotts Valley. Santa Cruz, San Jose is over here. So this is the area that we're going to be going over today, called Rolling Green. And this is a PUD, or planned unit development. It's they're single family homes, but they have an HOA. And this really reminds me, if you've watched my previous video of Sky Park, or have ever wanted to look at houses in here or familiar with it, it really reminds me of like mini houses, or like a mini Sky Park. And this is cool because you get a lot of the same amenities as you would at Sky Park, as well as like kind of a cookie cutter house, and it's a lot cheaper, so kind of cool. Anyways, I pulled up sales from the last 5 years, and kind of like Sky Park, there's not a whole lot of inventory. It's been like 10 sales in the past 5 years, so there's an average of 1 to 2 sales there a year. Here we go. I'll pull up one of the last sales in a little bit, but these are all the sales since 2020 in this neighborhood. Prices I've seen have gone between $1 million to $1.25 million in the last year or two. And let's see, this is the most common floor plan. There's actually 2 different floor plans. There is a 2-story, and there are actually single level ones in there. The single level ones are about 1,200 square feet, and they're all still 3 bedrooms. Some of them are 2.5 bathrooms, but most of them are 2 bathrooms. The lots are kind of smaller, but you have a backyard that's fenced off, which is great for if you want something that's a little bit easier on the maintenance, but also want to have an enclosed backyard for dogs or kids. And forgot to mention this, but the 2-story ones are bigger. They come in closer to 1,550 or 1,600 square feet. And typically things move pretty fast in here. The last one that was on the market that just sold, oh, this is not it. Let's see here. This was the last one. I actually didn't get the chance to go into here. I didn't have anybody for it at the time, but it was a 2-story house that sold for a little over 1.1. This just sold a few months ago. But I want to take you through the last single level one, which is this one. This one sold for closer to $1 million. It was single level. This was at the end of last year that this happened. I think that it was a little slower at that time, and I had actually walked 2 different clients through this house, and one of them was really close to writing an offer. Actually, both of them were. But for one reason or another, they ended up deciding not to. Anyways, this is it. It's just really cool to know that you can get a single level house in here for, this one sold for $1 million, and it's just a really good area. I think the complaint for one of my buyers was that the kitchen felt really closed off and separated from the rest of the house. But it was pretty updated. The second pair of buyers that were really gung-ho about writing an offer on it, they were a little bit older. They were in their late 70s, and they really liked the idea of easy maintenance, single level, and they had a dog too. So a backyard was really convenient for them, and just being in a very walkable place, they really loved everything about it. The biggest thing that threw them off, which I'll mention it now in case it's important to you, but there is a huge construction project that is anticipated to happen soon. So if we go back to the map here, there is this parcel that's surrounding Rolling Greens, and it is the old golf course. So you'll still see it. It's just closed off, and it's basically all pretty thrashed. But there's going to be a development that is, it's been in the works for a bit, and it's going to be close to about 200 homes that are going to be built around this. So it's going to be a construction project that happens for a while, and yeah, there's going to be a mix of single family houses. I think some condos. Let me see here on my notes. Mm, so just a bunch of different. Let me see. So 196 homes total, and it's going to be a mix of 142 2 and 3-story homes, along with 54 apartments that are going to be surrounding this. So it's going to touch on this street and then stretch out to Mount Herman. So my guys, they were older and they didn't really want to be around construction for a while, and this house was going to be right next to the construction. But going back to this house, you can see here it's still 3.2, 1,250 square feet with 3,000 square foot lot. The lot on this was actually pretty nice and manicured. Let me see if they have a picture of, you can kind of see the size of it. It's kind of hard to tell because I guess that kind of goes, kind of shows a lot of it. This one did kind of back up to a grade. But for the most part, this whole area is really flat, and you have a 2-car garage with these as well. But yeah, super, I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of value in this area, and probably why things usually go pretty quick. This one was on the market for a while, but I think, we've kind of had like a really volatile market this past like 2 years where things were hot and cold they changed very quickly. And this is one of the ones that really, I don't know, whoever bought this snagged a deal. So there's that. This is an HOA like I mentioned. So there's a little bit more information here about it. It's a Rolling Green HOA, that's the name of it. I don't know if this is the more current one. I think it might have gone up, but it basically just covers common area. It doesn't cover anything on your house, so you're responsible for your entire structure. Let's see here. There's 37 homes in here total, by the way. I'm going to go back to the one that just sold recently, which is this one. They'll have more updated numbers. But as you can see, this is the one that sold a couple months ago. It had 3 offers on it, so it was pretty competitive. So 285 is the most recent, HOA cost. And note for the area that HOAs have been kind of going up everywhere because of insurance or rising insurance rates. But all of them are on slabs. Cool to know. I think that's really it. If there's anything that I don't cover right now about the specific homes, please throw it in the chat or in the comments. Happy to address it. But yeah, that's really it. But just kind of going back to the list here, you can see they're all pretty similar as far as bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and again, the ones that are on the bigger side are the 2-story ones. And these were built about 35 years ago. Let's check out this one. The one that just sold recently. So this development was made in the late 80s. I don't think I've actually gone through a 2-story one before. I've gone through, I haven't actually sold one of these either, just because there hasn't been many for sale. And I don't think I've ever actually gone through a 2-story one. I've been through a few of them. I want to say 3 or 4 of them, and they were all single level. But this one looked pretty updated. A nice staging going on. Sold fairly quickly. Backyard looked kind of narrow, but it looks a little bit bigger on this side. And some of these actually back up to the golf course like this, which is pretty cool. Although it's going to be gone. But yeah, guys, that's it for the MLS home tour. Like I said, if there's something that I did not address here, go ahead and throw it in the comments. Now I want to go ahead and jump out and get my feet on the ground and do a little vlog style part to this, so that way you could actually see what the community looks like. All right, guys, I'm gonna do this a little bit different than I'm normally used to. This is a really small HOA community, and there's just like no trespassing signs everywhere. I've had people yell at me before in the past when I was like door knocking neighborhoods. Technically, I'm not supposed to be in there, so technically breaking the law for you to see this community. So anyways, I'm gonna start driving in there right now, and I'm gonna hook this camera up to my dash. And right now I'm over here by Total Fitness. That's actually the start and the first entrance to Rolling Green. So let's check it out. I actually have done it like this before as far as a vlog. It's just some of the smaller communities where everybody knows each other and will look out for each other, get a little mad when they see a camera and somebody that they don't know, and everybody usually knows each other. Again, there's like 37 homes in here, but here's the start to it. This beginning is just like a narrow strip. Kind of hard to probably fit 2 cars in there, but you can see the homes right here. There's open parking to the right. Those are not assigned. Those are just if they're open, you could take them. I don't know how many single level houses there are, but it seems like a pretty good mix. And there are little spots and gaps where you can see like openings to the golf course. I don't know how that's going to change when the development happens. Here's the second entrance. And if you could see over here, it's like the start to the golf course over there. And this is kind of where it ends over here. It ends at a little, I guess you could kind of call it a cul-de-sac. It's really just a big circle where a bunch more of the houses are. I noticed a lot of people like leave open their garage here like all day. It's kind of funny, but it's just there's always people out. And I spoke to one of the neighbors here when I was doing an open house a long time ago. And it's kind of gives the same vibes as Sky Park. There's a lot of like younger families here, and that could be good or bad for people who live here. I mean, if it's important for you to have privacy and to kind of live in a private community or like quieter community, this might not be for you. This is a community that like on Halloween, everybody's out and about and everything's just full. Like kids are out and stuff. But if you're somebody who likes a tight-knit community and, you know, likes to socialize with neighbors and, you know, has kids, it might work out a little bit better for you. But that's really it, guys. I might want to, before I go, check out the little entrance to the golf course. Let me see. I've never checked it out before, so I want to see it for myself. So another thing that says private, no trespassing, cameras everywhere, but this is pretty much where the golf course is at. And in the next few years, that'll all be houses and stuff, which is kind of cool. But anyways, guys, I know that was kind of a quicker tour. This is also a very small area, but I hope you enjoyed this video. And as I mentioned before, I'd really appreciate that if you like it, hit the thumbs up just to kind of give me some feedback. And if you also want to give me more specific feedback or anything like that, please throw some stuff in the comments. That'd be kind of fun to see you guys say some stuff. And yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, and you know, I know I'm trying to do this on a weekly basis, like I said, but it could be kind of tough. So, you know, hit the subscribe button, and it'll ping you on when the next video is coming. And if you need my help, give me a call anytime. You can reach me at 831-713-9139. My email and phone number is both in the description. And I hope you guys have a good weekend. Bye.